Hey, what is up, guys? It's Cam Bam here. Today we're going to be continuing on with our movie rating series, and we're going to be ranking the movie Godzilla x Kong today, The New Empire. The last movies I rated were Immaculate and Late Night with the Devil, so if you want to go check those out, check the link in the description below. But for now, we're going to be rating this movie Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, to start things off, I'm going to say that I did not really enjoy this movie. It was too kiddish for me. But just to put this out here, I love the Godzilla movies, but I feel like when Kong entered the story, the first one was good. Kong Skull Island was actually a good movie. But when he entered the story with Godzilla and Kong, when they got together, that's whenever the series started going downhill, in my opinion. I really like Godzilla. The very first Godzilla movie, Godzilla 2014, was my very favorite. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It was so good. I really enjoyed that one as a kid. So when I saw this one, I was not impressed. I felt like it was just plain monster fights, and it was too kiddish and cartoonish. It wasn't the Godzilla 2014, where it's more like built up and story based. But besides all of that, it is an okay movie. So I'm going to try to avoid spoilers in this one, just because I really honestly don't really remember what happens in this movie. That's how little intrigued I was in this movie. I think what happens is that there's this ape, let's say, that is evil, and he has somehow enslaved his own people, so Kong and Godzilla get together and they have to stop him, pretty much. And he has the only reason he has power is because he took control of this thing that controls another creature called, I think, Shimo. And that is a very powerful Titan. And that's how he's pretty much got his powers, by controlling this Titan and hurting it by using pain to win power. So the whole movie is just an adventure with Kong and Godzilla trying to fight this ape and his controlled creature, Shimo. The thing I'm starting to not like about this series is how Kong has been more human-like lately in these movies. There was one scene where he goes, Godzilla's coming after him, he's like, no, 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 no. And that's what a human does. That's not what an ape is supposed to do. That's just not how it was in the original stuff, and that's just not how it's supposed to play out. It just made no sense to me. They used to make it way more like wild Titan creatures, but now they have it to where they're like too human-like. It's way too much for kids, and that is one of the problems I've been having with these movies lately, with both Godzilla versus Kong and this one. I just don't like that. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. I can also tell the budget was lower in this film than it was for the rest of these movies. Like, for example, there was one... To be fair, they do have a ton of practical effects and CGI and all that involved in this. I mean, they're having gigantic Titans play a part in this movie. They're not going to be able to... They still look decent. But there was one scene where, I think it was in the beginning, where Kong is in some place and he opens up creature to eat, and all this green slime comes out of it, and it looked pretty fake. I could tell they are really on a lower budget. Another thing is, I feel like they're just expanding the story too far. I feel like there's a place they need to end. I think this is just being expanded for the money and for the fame of this series. I feel like it needs to have an end to it, at least sometime soon. Alright, the pros of this movie, I'm going to say, I think I really did enjoy the conflict of this movie. It was decent. I did like the villain in this movie, which was that ape that controls Shimo. And he is actually a very good villain. He plays an important role, and I liked how he gained the story behind how he gained his power and all that. That was good. There were some cool the ending was pretty cool. That's when I started actually starting to get interested. But in a movie, you don't want to have the beginning of the whole movie be boring, and then you just get interested in the end. That's not how a movie is supposed to go. You're supposed to gain your audience's attention at the beginning. But that just didn't happen for me in this movie. I was not intrigued. Another pro about this movie is I liked, there was one scene where Godzilla is in this ice and he goes underwater. He's in Antarctica or something. And that's when he turns pink. And I originally hated the idea of him becoming pink. I hated that idea. I love the blue Godzilla. That's classic, and that should be the same thing from now on. But when they turned him pink, when I saw it on the trailer and him being pink, I was like, this is not gonna go well. But it actually turned out pretty good. I actually liked how he ended up getting that color, and I liked the way he kind of came up out of the water after getting the color and he just roared. I do like that. That was a good scene, and they actually did have good effects on that part too. I could tell it did look really real on that. So I think I'm going to rate this movie at a 5 out of 10. I think it was the second worst movie I've seen this year, followed, and then behind that is Late Night with the Devil. I really just did not, there were some moments that I liked, like the ending, that was pretty cool, and the villain was pretty cool too. But the rest of the movie, I just really was underwhelming. It was not anything like Godzilla 2014 or Godzilla King of the Monsters or Kong Skull Island. It was just not in that level. It was more just kiddish to me now. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see this movie, I do recommend it. If you're like into monster fighting and just non-stop action on monsters, knocking down a bunch of buildings, like I said, this would be the movie for you. So if you guys are into that, I would definitely recommend this movie. That is what it's for. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.